Sweet, another Figma tutorial, the ultimate tutorial, the only tutorial you need to watch in order to master Figma. Now this is a free tool if you're not familiar with Figma, so you can use this on the cloud, meaning you don't have to download it, you don't have to sign up to a paid plan if you don't want to, and you'll be able to build website and sales pages and funnels that convert. So no traditional old school fancy websites, but sales pages and funnels that actually convert visitors into leads and paying customers. So let's dive in. Just some context. I've created a new design file here. Just for some context, you can see some of the stuff that I've built in Figma already. Like we got funnel templates, we got client projects, we got a lot of different styles. And so I use this with all my clients. These are obviously just templates, but today we're going to make it a fun challenge. So I'm going to pick one of these, which I haven't made these. I just want to find one that I could do a great tutorial of, and then show you kind of how to build it. So maybe we do this one, and maybe we screenshot this part. We could just copy it over, but I'll just screenshot this part and drag it in here. And that's what we're gonna use. So I think that could be pretty helpful to build out. And then we'll just go start to finish, right? So F, create my frame. I always like to use the slide 16:9. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people wanna use something else, like 1500 something. I'm gonna call this mood board. And then I typically always go on Pinterest and type in landing page personal brand maybe for this one. And so let's bring this in, and then maybe we go for a little bit more. Oh, I like this. Maybe we go for something clean like this. Well, we want to model the one that I just shared here, but it's all good. We'll model the outline and everything. All right, just drag this down, copy paste it over, delete this, and this is gonna be the logo. And so we'll just bring that back to 1080, and then copy it over. It's gonna be brand colors, and then actually font first. So we can do font styles and all that. All right, for logo, I think I'll just do a text logo. Let's see here. What are they using? Garnet. All right, we could use logo Ipsum. Logo Ipsum. Could just use that. Drag it in here. Is it possible to just copy it? No, I think I gotta download it. I always download it. Maybe we use this one. Click to copy. No, that shouldn't be possible. Well, it is possible. A lot of times when you find an image, for an example, online, you can a lot of times just copy it over. You don't have to. Actually, I'll just make this one in the middle. Yeah, you don't have to even download it a lot of times. So maybe we even change this to, we'll use this color. Yeah, that'll work. Maybe even gradient. Oops. We'll do 50%. All right, and then this isn't too big. We'll make it bigger. My ADD right there. It has to be there. All right, enough. Just the spacing between these. That's it. That's the final one. 40 pixels. All right. And obviously I would add more examples here of like, okay, I want 3 to 5 examples that we're kind of modeling, but this will do for now. And then we'll do a couple of circles for the, maybe we do 250 on these. Just duplicating these over. I'll explain here in a bit how I'm doing these things. Like this one, for example, I'm keeping Option down. You can see this duplicate arrow right there. And that allows me to just clone it. You could also just mark everything, Command CV, or copy paste on Windows. All right. Maybe we start with the color that we want. So you can also find it here, document colors. And then we go darker. So we start a little darker. Boom, little lighter. Yes, I like these colors. If you're like, Gusten, you're always using those colors. Yep, I love them. This one, boom. Maybe we do one that's a little bit more like orange. Or, nah. There we go. All right, we'll try this. We'll see what happens. All right, logo, font. See, I've put my brand colors in the font section. So then I'll do text, so T, and then I'll do headline H1. And first I'll set the font size, bold. Maybe we use something like Gilroy. H1. We'll use sub headline. Make this 52. Oops. This could be regular. I don't think I've licensed Gilroy. You can see I have bold and I got different. Look at this trial font. So we'll use, let's see what I have here. I only have, it's a great tutorial where I don't even have the font I want to use. Anyways, subheadline, I'll just go regular, it's fine. And then 52. And then body text or paragraph, I'll go. By the way, if I'm slow, it's because I'm using the trackpad on the MacBook. All right, so I could go and create these text styles. So I could just name them and have these. So whenever I need to upgrade this one to a headline, I'll just pick the text style. But an even faster way for me personally, I like to just mark it, copy paste. I drag it wherever I want it to be, like 52, great. Because sometimes I want the bold one, but I want it to be, for example, bigger headline here, smaller, but still bold, business, consulting, and management. I think this will do for a quick tutorial. My goal is for you to just get going. You don't have to be a world-class designer to create beautiful stuff. So what we'll do, let me just drag this over so I have it closer here, is we're just gonna create our landing page. So maybe we move it there. All right, so first thing we need is we need a background. We'll start with the logo. Now I'll just people with OCD are gonna be like, it's called frame. Has to be called logo. Well, now it is. Okay, we could also use a layout grid. Just want to show you how to do that. Columns, 12, 5% of black, center, width, 75, and then 40, or 30, or 50. Doesn't really matter. Depends on what works for you. Because I like to use the 1920 to 1080, but the font is going to be bigger than what it is on a page builder. So it's not going to be 92 and look like this on a page builder. You're going to test it and see, okay, it's going to be 48 or it's going to be 52. If you're picky, if you're like, I would rather just start with the one I want to use, then sure, go ahead. You can totally do that. So at this point already, sure, I can create I'll create like a rectangle to see like, okay, I have to stay within this. Actually, let's at least bring it back to 40. Bring the image in. Maybe we go almost half, so then we can have the headline, we can keep it all the way up here. Alt here, sorry. And then we'll bring these two in as well. And then I'll just click here so I can still see if I want to. I don't delete it here. Okay, boom. I'll hide it for now. This will be my my text. And then I'll put my support the Gusten Sun. Actually, I'll bring this down to like 32 here. Maybe even less. 24. That doesn't have to be big. If you want to align something, you can just mark both of them and click align vertical centers. If you want it to align by the bottom, boom. At the top, boom, center. All right, now let's actually, okay, I'm gonna make sure that it's aligned. Let's write the copy for this. So creating and scaling your startup venture. Okay, we're gonna be a little bit unique. This also may be a little bit too big, maybe 72. So I'm gonna write something like, instead of creating and scaling your startup venture, 10x your productivity in our, I was gonna say something along the lines of in our workspaces. Like what are they called when you don't own them, you're just renting the workspaces? Not an office, but like a shared office space. I'm thinking, what's a good word for it? 10x your productivity in our brand new spaces. We'll change it later, I'm sure. Okay, it is 89 pixels now. Let's bring it up a little bit, 70 maybe. And then, actually, I wanna do this. You can go down here. You can see here in the case. If you want to go uppercase, lowercase, title case, I'll do title case. So I'll get all of them. And now we'll bring this to 80. I like that more. And then subheadline for now, actually, I want to make this like 42. Drag it out there. And then this could even be 36. You see, I'm always testing. And adjusting. Plugins, so you can manage plugins, you can add more plugins. I want to use lorem ipsum to just generate some text here, and then we'll revisit. So I can do 5 sentences. I can change this to 2, 3. I think I'll do 3. Or I can just auto-generate. So here, I'll actually delete this. Okay, and now here's where you could change those in case you're not familiar with the text. If you mark this, there we go. So that looks good. 130, maybe 150 if we take this down to 32. And then just move this up. There we go. Now I want an image here, but I don't want one. I'll show you how to create an image like this. You can just go and either add an image. Like if you add one personally, let's say you add one like this, and you're like, I want this image. Let's say this is you, and you want to use this image. You could just do that by moving it. So I'm gonna add it in here. You just mark both of them, you mask it in there. You could do that, but I'm gonna use Pexels now because maybe you're practicing. You're like, hey, I want to use an image online. Pexels is free, so let's do smiling woman, and let's use this one, and then let's go here just to change cropping a little bit. There we go. Move it down. You can round your corners. You can change it up. Maybe you want to have a stroke effect. Gradient. You can see what that looks like if you start adding some of that. You can also add a color. So you can see here, we've got an image and color as a fill. So let's say I want to use this color here right from the picture. If I add this on top of the image, you can see we can't see the image, obviously, because it's 100%. But if I do gradient, you can see this one is at 0. So I can make this one up to 100 and this down to 0. Or I could have just moved this around like this. So there we go. Maybe do 50, like in the middle, 50% of the image. So that's one way to do it. I don't like the stroke on this one. And maybe with this one, we'll bring it back to 10. But that's not what we're doing here. You can see the background image is 1. I just wanted to share that. Instead, we're gonna go, actually, I'll just add a new rectangle as the background image, and I'll explain to you why in a second. I'll move it behind everything else. Because now I'll click plugin, Pexels, woman in office. And then, yeah, maybe this one. That image is already, we'll do this one. Okay. Now, I want to use the same color as in this one because we're going to model that one, remember? So I'll drag this right there. Boom. And now I'll just move this to this side. Then I'll drag this out here. If you want to, you can still drag this in here. But in that case, I would maybe make it something like 90, 95, 93, so that you can see it a little bit, right? So it doesn't just cut off in the middle. So now, white text, maybe we'll do white, but like 90%, 80%. It's not as strong as the headline. That's color and contrast and visual hierarchy. Actually, for the logo, it might even make more sense to, let me see if I can just add exposure, make it white. Yes, I wouldn't do that normally, but I was able to do that here. Yeah, I could have just exported with like a white logo, right? As a white logo, sorry. All right, so now just need our support email to match. And then we could also look at maybe moving the image a little bit, but that's fine for now. We need a button. I'm not gonna use two. Try it for free and how it works. I'm just gonna use one. Actually, I could do two, and one would be like watch a demo. So we'll do this one without a fill, just a stroke, because that means, and we'll do 2 pixels wide. That means we want them to focus on this one. That's why we're highlighting it. We want you to click here, but if you're not sure how to use it, like you can still watch the demo here. Like we understand. Watch demo. And maybe for this one, we want to have, actually I'll do 26. When I click this, you can see it just, boom, removes all the white space. I could also mark both of these and do center and center. But then based on this, if you set this to 200, you can see what happens. If you set at top, like this is also gonna make a difference. So I'll just delete it so it's auto. And I'll just, with my eyes, visually see, okay, that's pretty good. That's in the middle. I'll do 24, not 26. Move this. If it's behind, I can just crop it out. So Command and X, click this, and when I paste it, Command and V, it adds it on top of the other one. I'll bold it so I indicate you want to focus on this one. You want to click this one. And then I'll move this up a little bit just so we have the same amount of spacing here. I don't always look at the pixels in terms of the padding or spacing. I also sometimes just look at visually what it looks like, because this has an 80 spacing, this has 150. So this one adds, you can see it adds, it's marked to the top or aligned to the top. So you can see that we got some empty space here at the bottom. All right, now when I click landing page and I click command down, I can just drag this down because the background is in a rectangle, not on the frame. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to export just that one image, I click command C and V, I copy the whole thing over, I move this up again, I remove all of this. Why? So that I only have one thing to export, which is the frame. Now I export this with PNG or JPEG. Now we can go to the next one. And by the way, you can see here the rectangle. Now the image is in the rectangle. So if I go command and I just drag this up, you can see it crops it out. And I can get it more similar to what we had over here. So I can just move all of this. There we go. Well, not the logo. And not the support. So now when I keep the shift down, I can just move this up how I want to. All right. I don't like this texting. 10x your productivity in our brand new office spaces. Anyways, so that's that part. I'm not gonna add all these like these links. I assume it would just scroll down. So if you click services, it would just scroll down to services. If it's a website, sure, you can have all other pages, but that's why it's like if you have 5 things you want to talk about. So what's different about us or unique? Testimonials, pricing, results, and the offer, like whatever it is. Instead of having 5 pages that explain it, just have different sections on the same page. So as they scroll down, they'll see, okay, this is why you're different. This is your backstory. This is why I should care. These are the stakes. Here's what you can help me with. Here's the pricing. Here's the offer. Here's what I get. Here's the testimonials. Here's an FAQ. Like just have it on one page. So the more they scroll, the more sold they are. Let's do the next part. So I'll copy paste this down here. I'll use black text for the headline. And then, should we keep going with this title case, or should we just do lowercase? As typed, it would look like this. So office spaces. And then we'll talk about, because we're so unique and our office spaces inspire you to be more creative. Great. So now I'll do, not O, rectangle, 400. Now we could add back the grid just to see. Okay, we're in the middle. Copy this one here. Copy this one over here. Hide the grid. Maybe even we make these white, but then we have 100 pixel blur, a 5% opacity, and then maybe 20% radius. And then what if we do this? Actually, I said we were gonna model this, so we won't have the shadow on these two. You can see we have it here, but instead on these we're gonna do stroke. We're gonna do blue, but take it down to like 30%. Let's see, 2 pixels. There we go. So then we need icons and we need headlines. So we'll do 52. If this was on a sales page and in the software, it would probably be more like 52 and 32 or 36. So I'll do headline 1. This is what I always do. I add it in here, right? So first I add it, I add in here, and then I add in here. So then I grab this, move it down, start with black. Well, maybe we go a little bit more like 222. And then centered. And then there we go. The reason I'm adding, let me just create this. Like when I keep command and I drag this down, it'll stay. It'll just make it longer so I can add in this right here. So now this is where I want the icons. Oh, let me actually try adding this in here. So we'll do blue, bring it back down to like this. This is where we're gonna add the icons. I'm gonna use a plugin for this as well, so you can manage plugins, search for icons. There's one that I like a lot lately. It's called the Noun Project. So this project, the Noun Project, I don't know if that's how you say it. Like there's so many options. I'll show you first one. By the way, I haven't titled my Figma file. It says untitled. So we'll do ultimate Figma tutorial. And if I use, for example, which I have used this one a lot, Iconify. This one, like, there's a lot. You can see TV. There's a lot of options for sure. But if I do, for example, online course, like I don't see anything. If I do course, video library maybe, like there's just a play button. So, okay, sure, this one is decent. But then if I do coaching, let's say I want to have coaching, coach maybe, no. Guide, it's not really. And like if I find one, let's say I want to use this, would you say that these two matches the same style? Like it's not the same font family, sorry, icon family. If I drag this in, you can see I gotta double click to add the stroke back up because I changed the, just like if I make this smaller, you see what happens. So then you gotta adjust this again. And adjust again. So sure, I could find an icon that I like, but typically it's hard to find 3 or 5 or 10 or however many you need to have the same style. So when I use a Noun Project, and I gotta check if these have if they have a Figma plugin as well. Maybe we check it together. Plugins, manage plugins, Noun. I don't see it here. I'll check later. Widgets. Instead, what you can do here is if I type in online course, you can see that there's a lot of options, and they look like online courses too. And then I'll just do a quick view. Let's see if I can copy this as well. No, add to kit. So I would probably, no, I don't think I can. Nope. So I usually just download this. Basic download, SVG, boom. And then obviously you have to make sure you have the license if you want to use it for a paid project. You can see if I just drag this out, what it's gonna do. So I keep shift in when I change any of the sizing. So I like these type of icons as an example. Maybe I do blue, and there we go. What if we do just without them? It also look clean. There we go. And so that's kind of what they've done here. We have a pre-headline as well. So I'll copy this, and then what should we say in this one? I'll just make random text for now. Just increase this to like 20 pixels. Take this down to 32 or 26. Make this blue, and this would be auto. Maybe 10 is enough. 15. Yeah. Maybe even regular. Nah. Yeah, so we could even say like why we're different. And then this would say world class for CEOs. And then this would explain. So I don't know why I picked the online course here, because it's not relevant. Just maybe wanted to show you an example of what it can look like. All right, so now we're going to copy this down here, because you want to have call to actions throughout the page as well. Now we could also add in like social proof. So we could add in here ratings, reviews, testimonials, all those things. But first we're just creating something similar. Maybe you need to practice a little bit more. And so you could just add in here similar things to what they have. Now, this is very simple. It's just adding an image like I showed you with pixels, or obviously if you're building a real funnel, you would use your own images or the client's images if you're building for clients. But you might be asking yourself how to create this right here. So let's go over that one. And these are just PR logos or clients that you work with and that sort of thing. So now we can add another rectangle, maybe for the background. So I'll move this up. Boom. Maybe we'll make this a background again, similar to here. And then, yeah, let's do that first. What if we do just 10%, 20, so we can see it, but not too much. And then we'll just copy this over, center it, and this will just be something like additional support. And then let's say that these are all the people that support you in this workspace. So we could just do something like this. Actually, let's use, we're good. Both of them. Maybe we have tutors. We have 4 people that are gonna help out here. $35, okay. There we go. In the middle, now we could change this we want to 50. Because all of them are marked and they're equally close to each other. Maybe we do 20 on these, and then the background is gonna be, yeah, maybe black. All right, or something like 1B, 1B, 1, 1B, 1B, 1B. So maybe sometimes you wanna have a drop shadow. So like 100, you can see here what happens. It's subtle, but if you make it like 100%, now you can start seeing it more. So maybe we'll do like 10 pixels down, and then we'll just do 30. And then you'll see here in a second. Actually, what if we also add a stroke, but we take it down to like 30% as well. And 2 pixels. Oh, and maybe gradient. Now we'll add in our people. I actually don't want 50, I want 30 here as well. Start with the first one. Pixels, smiling person. All right, we'll start here. I will then drag down the image, make this gradient. I could again just swap this around, move up. Maybe I just do that. And then maybe a little bit to the side. What if we just do this and then in the middle? Now, this could work, but I'm actually gonna do this, so the opposite. Boom. And then what I wanna do is add in like maybe topics or the name or something. So let's say her name is Renee. 52, maybe 42, and then Larkin Black. So we can either center it, maybe we center it. Copy this, and this would be the topic. So this would be, I'll just use the lorem ipsum for now, center. 24. There we go. And then we would just do this for all of these. Move this. Boom. We could also just go here from half. Now, if you're like, well, how do I upload this to a page builder? There's 2 ways. One is to just export the whole thing, which a lot of times we just do that. So mark this, this, and this. You can see all of them here. Command G. So now it's a group. Now you can just export this as a PNG so that you don't have a background. So it's transparent. You can see here, it doesn't add a background in here when you export it because it's PNG. You can do that, or you just export it without the text. And when you do that, you just add the text back in the page builder. So now let's say this is Reese, and then maybe we want to use either, if it's like names, maybe you want to have them all have the same. If it's different topics, maybe you want to go, you know, completely different, and you want to do something to visually explain, like, okay, the difference here is you're going to learn copywriting and then design. I don't know if we made this a group as well. Move this over here, and obviously I would change these as well. So I think that helps you with understanding how to use Figma, building your sales pages 1 page at a time. What you're doing is just assembling everything. So the copy, the logo, the brand color, the mood board, the graphics and everything, and then just one by one. So this, if I want to use this image right here, or if I want to use an image like I have one here, or like I did here, you would just export that image as a group together. Boom, upload it as a PNG or SVG or JPEG in your page builder, your software. Then the background image, then it's like one thing at a time, you just assemble it together, boom. The most important part though is that you have something to look against and compare it to. So you're not blindly building stuff like hoping that it works. So you need to have a structure, a framework, so that you have the copy and the design aligns. The branding builds trust, and then the sales message and offer sells them on why they should buy your thing or download the thing for free if you're building your email list. Hopefully this helps. Let me know in comments if you need anything else on this. Whatever you want to see next is what I'm going to do. So let me know. Maybe we do this. The top comment with the most likes, that video is the one I'm filming next. So comment below what you want to see, and then like everyone else's that you want to see more of, and then that's what I'm going to film for you. Much love. I'll see you in the next one.